Good morning. Saturday morning here at our camp. My husband Dan actually has some side work to do today. So a weekend day is just going to feel more or less like a normal weekday for us. The only exception being that Lincoln does not have to go to school today. So I am planning to clean my house, do a little bit of organizing, and I also have the dreaded task of going through a bunch of my kids' clothing because they've both had growth spurts. So mom life, I have to get rid of a ton. So, in the interest of full disclosure, I want to let you know that I actually had a cheat meal last night. I don't do that often because it really upsets my stomach, but I did have real pizza last night. The reason that I'm telling you this is because this morning I feel like garbage. My stomach hurts really bad. I feel a little bit lightheaded, and it just really cements the fact that when I eat keto, I feel better, and it makes my body run the best. What we're going to do this morning is I want to show you guys a couple of different ways that I will make a bulletproof coffee. Now that I'm entering maintenance mode, I really only have it a few times a month, but I tend to need it after a cheat day or a cheat meal because after I ingest a bunch of carbohydrates that my body is not used to, I wake up in the morning ferociously hungry. When I'm eating keto, I'm usually not hungry for breakfast, so black coffee is enough to satisfy me. But on days like today, where I ate pizza last night and my body ran on glucose all night long, I wake up in the morning absolutely starving. So instead of doing a full-blown meal, because I don't really have time for that right now, I am going to make bulletproof coffee 2 different ways and show you a couple of different options for your bulletproof coffee. Okay, so I'm gonna show you bulletproof coffee 2 different ways. First, I'm going to do the classic version, which is my absolute favorite. Now, when I say classic, the way that you prefer your amounts of ingredients for bulletproof coffee is going to become a very personal preference. So when you look up recipes for it online or you watch other people make it, it might be more butter and more coconut oil than what I'm using. I've come to have a very specific preference for the amounts of those things. I don't like mine ridiculously loaded with butter and oil, so my amounts are a little bit smaller than what a lot of people recommend. That not only keeps it a little bit lower calorie, but it's just the way that I enjoy it the best. So let's go with the classic first. Here we go. So first you're going to take a piping hot cup of coffee, like my mug. I have a Ninja blender. I love this thing. I got this for Christmas and I use it almost every day. The Ninja system that came from Santa came with the little, like the bullet cups. I love these for bulletproof coffee. It makes it super simple. So I'm going to take one of the cups and I am going to add a full steaming cup of hot coffee. Next, I am going to add my unsalted Kerrygold butter. You can use salted. I've used salted before and it tastes fine. It's just not my personal preference. So I'm going to go into my butter here and I'll show you exactly how much I use. It's actually probably only about a teaspoon. I definitely do not use the full tablespoon that a lot of people use. So that's how much butter I'm using, okay? So then that goes right into the cup with the hot coffee. Ooh. Next, I'm gonna go into my coconut oil. I got this from Walmart. They sell it in an enormous container and I just absolutely love it. Unrefined virgin coconut oil. So this is pretty clean as far as coconut oil gets. as coconut oil has gotten more popular, there's a lot of fraudulent coconut oils on the market that have ingredients in them that are not as pure as the label may state. Oh, okay, so finally got it open. Same goes for the coconut oil that I said about the butter. Personal preference on how much your amounts are, and when you first start drinking Bulletproof coffee, you'll have to kind of tweak it to what your liking is. So I don't use measuring spoons for this part. I just kind of eyeball it, which feel free to do so. I am going to take about a teaspoon of coconut oil. Yep, it's drippy. It's just how it goes. I guess my pantry's a little warm. So about a full teaspoon of coconut oil, and then that's gonna go right into the cup with the butter and the coffee. So I throw that in together. And for me, that one is going to be it. Like super simple, a little bit of coconut oil, a little bit of the Kerrygold butter, and then I'm gonna click it right on my Ninja. And I'm going to blend it off camera because it's crazy loud. So I blended in my Ninja for about 15 seconds. So we will return. It's all blended. You can see that it's creating this beautiful, beautiful foam on the top. This is one of my favorite things about Bulletproof coffee. Before I started keto, I was absolutely addicted to really sugary creamers. I would drink coffee all day long, and it was loaded with sugar and half or tons of sweetened creamers. I was really not doing myself any favors. So I've really learned to love this. You don't have to drink it. You really don't. I know there are a lot of keto people that are like, oh, you have to have Bulletproof coffee. You don't have to have anything except for food and water. So if you don't like it, that's cool. Don't drink it. I happen to really enjoy it. And it really does help me stay full for a very long time. If I have had a cheat day especially, I like to drink it the next morning because it just makes my insides feel good. So that's the original. This is actually, like I said, my favorite way to drink it. So I will go ahead and take the top off here. Oh, someone crying? Someone crying. Oh, so steamy, so delicious. I'm gonna pour this right back into one of my favorite mugs. And I am going to guzzle this down. It's so delicious and it's so comforting to me. There's a zillion different ways to make it. In the fall, I like to add pumpkin pie spice. I really have done a bunch of different varieties of Bulletproof coffee. The next one that I'm gonna show you is if you like things a little sweeter or you need something with more flavor, I do a chocolate coconut version. So let's do that one. Another Ninja Bullet cup. I am going to go in and add a cup of coffee.
Wow.
Oh, that's not even enough coffee. Hang on, you guys. Okay, problem solved. So we are going to add a steaming hot cup of coffee. Next, sweet drops. I love these. Absolutely love them. You can get them on Amazon if you have trouble finding them in a regular store. Our regular grocery store, Publix, does carry them. They don't have all of the flavors, but they have most of them. I've also found them at really every health food store that I've ever been to. The reason that I love these so much is they have a really great flavor and they don't have a weird aftertaste. They're also sweetened with stevia, which is fantastic for keto and just sugar-free eating as well. So the amount to tell you how to use these is going to be a very personal preference. I don't like mine crazy sweet, but I definitely want to taste it. It's a squirt. It's the best I can tell you. Start with less. If you need more, go ahead and add a little bit more. I'm gonna try to show you how much I squirt in there. I don't know if it's gonna work. If you have more questions about the amount of sweet drops that I use in my coffee, leave a comment below and I'll try to walk you through it. So here we go. You ready? It's just a little squirt. Some people probably like it a little sweeter. You can go pretty heavy with this and not totally screw up your coffee. So that was 1 steaming hot cup of coffee. It was a squirt of the sweet drops. I did the coconut flavor. Next, the recipe is really similar to what we did in the first cup. So it's going to be about a teaspoon of coconut oil. And then about a teaspoon of Kerrygold butter. I'm actually gonna go with a little bit less Kerrygold than I did in the other cup, just because it does have so much other flavoring. So a little bit of Kerrygold. And now here's where it gets different. I am going to add some unsweetened cocoa powder to this one. So it's going to be a chocolate coconut bulletproof coffee. Doesn't that sound delicious? This is another thing that, you know, use your palate to decide how much you like. It'll probably take a couple times of making it until you get the ratio right where you like it, but I'm actually only going to use a half a teaspoon of the cocoa powder. I don't think it needs much more than that, but you know, your palate's different than mine. So a rounded half a teaspoon is what it's looking like. Okay, so everybody's in the cup. I am going to blend this off camera and then I'll show you what this one's a little lighter in color. It's absolutely beautiful. I really like the way that Bulletproof coffee just separates and you get that beautiful foam layer on top. It looks so delicious. So this is the chocolate coconut. Ooh. If you don't have a Magic Bullet, you could probably, or a Ninja, you could probably use a regular blender. I know they also sell things that are specifically like little handheld devices for stirring coffee and things like this. I haven't purchased one of those yet, but if I run into one, I probably will, only because my blender is so ridiculously loud. My children run for the hills, so I feel kind of bad using it for coffee, but whatever. So look at it. You can see that the cocoa really gives it a gorgeous chocolatey color. So now, the taste test. Oh, it's delicious. I probably could have added a hair more cocoa powder, but it is a really nice change. And if you're someone who doesn't really like Bulletproof coffee, but you're trying to choke it down for your own personal reasons or as like a meal replacement, try flavoring it differently and you might be surprised at how easy it does go down. That's what she said. Now the question is, which one am I going to drink for the day? Because I do not need two. So I have my original and I have my chocolate coconut. So that is 2 ways that I do my Bulletproof coffee. The options are really endless depending on what you have in your house for keto approved sweeteners and flavorings. There's a company that's called, I believe it's OO Flavors. I don't know if it's O Flavors. Someone can let me know down below. It's I'll put a link. It's OOOFLAVORS on Instagram. They are an extract company that does a lot of sugar-free, low-carb options. And when I tell you that they have more flavors than you've ever seen in your whole life, it's absolutely mind-blowing. So check them out. If you want a specific flavoring, you will find it there. I hope everyone has a wonderful Saturday. Wish me luck as I try to tackle this house and get my life together. I mean, try your Bulletproof coffee a few different ways. You don't have to drink it standard, and let me know how it goes for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope everyone has a great day. Bye.